Hey,
Hey, guess what?
what?
We're live. Hold on. Hey, everybody, and welcome to Superhero Speak. I'm your host, Dave.
And I'm Don.
And I
Jamming out to whatever Dave was just.
I just realized I have the video playing in another tab, and my volume was up on my main speakers, so you could hear the theme song going twice.
Nice.
We're off to a great start tonight. How's
Yeah.
everyone doing? How are you this week, Don?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good actually. I feel good because I kind of got back into playing console video games. I bought a PlayStation 5 for the sole purpose of playing through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is the second part of the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Mm-hmm.
Played through, got to the point to where you go to Costa del Sol, and then Akira Tama passed away. And this guy, really cool guy on Twitter, at the Well-Read Mage, so he said, hey, we should all play Chrono Trigger, because he was the art director for Chrono Trigger. So, hey, what the hell, I'll do that. Recorded the whole thing. It's on the Omega Level Nerds channel. And then didn't quite get back into Rebirth yet. So I'm just making that, I want to play Reunion, which is Crisis Core Remade. I won't get into it, but I'm getting back into it a little bit. It feels good. So it's been a great week in that respect for sure. How about your week, man? How's it going?
It's not bad. Been busy. I guess I should have mentioned before we actually started. That John's not here this week. John's still on the show. He had to babysit his nephews this weekend. So he said he was not going to get home till late tonight. So he's just off this week. I should have mentioned that up front.
All right, great. We do our first new format short show, and he's still not going to get to bed until late.
Exactly. No, I'm doing pretty good. Uneventful week. My girlfriend was sick for the majority of the week. She had the COVIDs. She's feeling much better now, though. And that was the gist of my weekend. Except we did get, got together on Friday and Saturday, and we like to do creative things together. And she had a couple ideas for paintings, and she suggested one to me. And I'm the one I'm working on this. It's not done yet, but this is the progress so far. This is the painting that I'm currently working on.
I'm getting the EVH vibes there.
Exactly. It's a tribute to Eddie Van Halen, and hopefully I will get that finished next weekend. Just it needs a little bit of touch up, and I'm gonna add some more in the background. But yeah, so that's it. She is currently with her one son at the Pink concert here in Philadelphia, but I have a bad feeling they might be cutting the concert short because we're supposed to get severe thunderstorms very shortly that are supposed to last through most of the night. So,
boy, yeah, and I just got done watching Twisters. So yeah, you should, take cover.
So yeah, that's been my week. Nothing too exciting. I had a question for you, Don. You're a huge Star Wars fan, somewhat of a Star Wars expert, and I'm curious. Do you know why they call Darth Vader Lord Vader?
I do not.
Because when they tried calling him Master Vader, too many of the stormtroopers giggled. We lost too many stormtroopers that day.
Yeah.
There you go. There's your inappropriate joke of the week.
Love
the other thing I did this week, and I know you watched it because you commented on it, and we'll just talk about it real briefly. Is I put that a rant up on Friday talking about the Marvel villain problem, And to summarize real quick, my thing is Marvel really quick got into a one and done mentality with a lot of their villains. So some of the best villains have already been thrown away, and now we got Cassandra Nova, who was done perfectly in Deadpool Wolverine, and she kind of she's a one and done. She's gone. We're getting Red Hulk in Captain America 4, but played by Harrison Ford, so he's going to be a one and done. And we're getting Doctor Doom finally in the MCU, but played by Robert Downey Jr. So I have a feeling that's going to be a one and done with him. And I kind of was like, what do you guys think? Is this a huge issue? And I know you watched it, so I'm kind of curious what your take on it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll be glad to. So to me, absolutely, they have a big villain problem. Although I don't know if Red Hulk's going to be one and done. They might actually use that to replace the fact that they just can't use the regular Hulk. And we'll talk about more of that when we talk about the Thunderbolts trailer. But yeah, to me, it's like, hey, yep, there's a problem. Let's fix it. Let's go. Magneto, Apocalypse, Mr. Sinister. I mean, so many X-Men villains that we can explore and have fun with. But, they're not one and done. Like Mr. Sinister, he's not, even when he dies in the comics, it's probably a clone or something. Like, so these are, Apocalypse being the oldest mutant, on Earth. These aren't one and done type villains. So as I say, yeah, let's go X-Men villains, not with the one and done shit though, Don't do the one and done with Mr. Sinister. Doesn't work. Don't do the one and done with Magneto. Doesn't work. In fact, he's going to need a whole ass anti-hero arc. So that's my take on that. Yeah. It does suck. Doom should not be a one and done in no way, shape, or form. And I don't think he will. I think they just need to get out of the multiverse stuff for me. I mean, don't remember, I'm still interested. I'm not going to play like I'm not, but I would, no, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to be crazy.
Yes. All right. All right. Well, now that we got that out of the way, and link to that video is actually in the description of this. So I think people should go check that out. See, and comment on that video. Let us know what your thoughts are about the current state of Marvel villains. And that being said, so I did make an announcement earlier this week. A lot of people watched it. A lot of people commented on it. Moving forward, number one, JD is not coming back, at least not anytime soon. We're going to try to get him back for like special episodes, maybe something we know that he really would be interested in, and whatnot. But again, his heart belongs to wrestling, so you can check out the Mike and JD show. But of course, Don is going to be our permanent third going forward. He is happy to be here. He's drank all the Kool-Aid, so so he's not going anywhere.
Alcoholic right spike Kool-Aid. Dark Side has cookies. I eat them too. Yeah. Love being here, but yeah, JD, I hope to see him at some point here soon, though.
Yeah.
But I love his passion for wrestling. So great job, dude.
Yes. And also, in part of the effort of making the show better, hoping to attract more fans and improve our fan base and get a little bit further ahead. We're trying our best. There's no guarantees. We're trying to keep the show tight and down to like an hour, because John and I had this conversation when the show started. We were like an hour and 15 tops, and then it just ballooned over the years. Oh, this segment sounds cool. Oh, let's do this. Oh, let's add this in. And then next thing you know, you're 2 hours, 2.5 hours some nights. And some friends of ours have made comments, other podcasters, and about the length. So we're gonna do our best to keep it tight. So hang in there. Part of that, of course, is we have eliminating for now social media madness. Who knows? It might come back in some form or another. But until we can record a new promo for a shout out for the Geek World All Stars, here's our good friend Don to tell you how you can find the Geek World All Stars.
Hey, great show tonight, right? But I bet you also want to be part of social media madness, and you can. You just head on over to superheroespeak.com, where we have all of our social media links. And while you're there, you can check out links to the show, comic reviews by Chris, other stuff that we're adding on there all the time. So again, check out superheroespeak.com. And while you're already on the interwebs, check out the rest of the Geek World All-Stars podcast network. Great shows like the Pop Prison Power podcast, Colt 45, Fans on Patrol, the Gorilla Brain podcast, That's So Wizard, and Superhero Speak. So on your social media app, just go ahead and type in hashtag GW All-Stars, and you will not be disappointed. Now, I'm sure the present me has refilled his alcoholic beverage and wiped the sweat from under his man tits, so we can get back to the show.
Oh,
Very
God,
true.
I didn't realize that was the one I clicked on.
Very true.
So yeah, so that's we're gonna take out the obviously social media madness of that, but
Well, our whole thing is social media madness. Let's face it. You
Yes,
know, it's the name of the game here.
I will point out, if you are watching this right now, please join our Discord, because we are trying to get more interactive on there. I've been talking with Thrawn a little bit on there. He's been talking about some of the books he's been reading and suggesting that we should check out the new DC stuff. So yeah, like, join the Discord. There's a link in the description. I know that the link wasn't working at one point, but I did update it today. And you know, what else could I say? But if you're here and you've gotten this far in the show and you are not subscribed yet, please click that subscribe button, click that bell for notifications so you don't miss us when we go here live on Sunday nights. If you like the show and are so inclined, please click that like button. It does help with the algorithm, gets our name out there further. And if you feel like it and you want to show your love for this show, go check out our merch store. Link is in the description. Pick up a Superhero Speak t-shirt. You won't be disappointed. They are high quality shirts. I do own quite a few. I wear them to conventions. And I do have a local artist I'm working with to design 3 more designs coming up. So you definitely want to check those out. And Don, how are things going with Omega Level Nerds?
Well, a little bit terrible because I recorded a whole episode and then the file got corrupted. So yay. But yeah, Omega Level Nerds there. But you know what I really need to do, Dave, is I do need to get hooked up with the Superhero Speak Discord. Because I'm on Discord. There's Omega Level Nerds Discord. It's how I record my show.
Yeah.
But I really do need to get on there, and just whenever I'm fucking around playing a video game or something, maybe just, you know, pop it up there for whoever gives 2 shits. You know, that could be fun though. You know, you never know. So I need to, you know, be better at that.
Yeah, and I think we are going to. I'm restructuring some of the stuff going on. We're gonna relaunch our Patreon coming up. It's going to be real simple. It's going to be 2 levels. It's actually going to be free and a $5 level. The $5 level will get you bonus stuff. The free will get you the podcast and what we normally give out for free. Just so there are people who just go to Patreon to listen to podcasts, but I am going to try and somehow integrate the Discord with that. You know, maybe it'll be maybe we'll throw discounts for things in there once in a while. We'll have to see. It's going to be interesting. Stay tuned. Lots coming. But of course we got to pay the bills. So, as an oldie but a goodie, we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back with our news.
Some podcasts are like this.
I don't wash my hands. I don't really trust people that wash their hands because, well, one, I don't think it does anything.
And some podcasts are like this.
And let's be honest, I'm starting to think it's a scam because I have a very painful sunburn. They had no sunblock in the 1800s, but yet nobody was dying of skin cancer. So what's giving you skin cancer?
Listen, that is a phenomenal point.
But only one podcast is where you can get in-depth analysis like this.
So like Max is like searching through these fake photos of his old fight for the murder memories, and we get another flashback, and it's the same
flashback.
Fucking
Nothing has changed. No information has
hammer
been added.
punch, cave in skull, head explosion.
Nothing about this flashback gives us anything new.
2 rings, grab a rope.
Nothing about this is
Shadowy
important.
figure.
Why are you showing why are you wasting my time showing this fucking flashback that I've already seen?
Was there a quota to show David Carradine's face like 85 times?
It had to have been.
You are now listening to Cult 45.
This is Beat 'em Down.
And I'm Random Randy Savage.
Find us on all your podcatching apps like Podbean or Spotify. And follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Or just go to www.cult45podcast.com.
Also, check out our YouTube for that sweet, sweet video content.
Cult 45, the only podcast that puts hair on your chest.
It's an old one, but it's also the shortest one Randy's ever done.
It was a nice change. I hadn't remember seeing it before, so I was like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah, I got to talk to him about doing some more, and I want to get the other Geek World All Stars podcast to like do some more promos. We got the So Wizard one, but and I want to.
I need to do something too. I got a couple things here. I got some ideas, but I'm going to bring up this comment here. Ooh, sorry, first time we've ever done that. Kassan, I'm right with you, man. Like when I wasn't on the show or wasn't guesting on the show, I would love we're doing our shit on Sundays and like right before I go to bed, 10 o'clock. I'll see what the boys are still doing. Oh, yep, they're still, yapping away. And I would love that. So I totally get that. But that's a special breed, I think.
Yeah, we're not Joe Rogan or Lance Friedman. Like, those guys were famous before they had podcasts. So so they can bring in an audience that wants to listen to them for 2 to 4 hours. And John has been complaining for a long time that the show's too long, and I just ignored him. He's like, I gotta get up work on Monday. So all right, we do have a little bit of news to talk about, though. The most important story of the year is the #1 R-rated movie of all time is now officially Deadpool and Wolverine. So thanks to all of our fans who've gone and seen it multiple times.
Just like Throw on Kill here. Absolutely, sir. Deadpool rules. Absolutely. Love it.
Yes. Were you happy when you heard this?
Well, yeah, I was just happy because we we had vied for that, right? We hey, you said, hey, go out, see it again. We don't want Joker to sit there and be #1. So yeah, got that done. We got that done. And again, I really hope that this teaches the right lessons as far as like a lot of good shit happening around characters that everyone cares about. It's gold.
Yeah, that's actually the most important thing, right? Like they have this super successful movie now, and it's under the Marvel Disney umbrella. They have to take the right lessons from it, not just get an anti-hero, make an R-rated movie, and we'll make $1 billion. It's got to be like what the fans want and what they like, and I mean, was there a lot of fan service in it? Of course there was, but it was good fan service. So
yeah, fan service is great. We like it. Fans like it, and we pump money into stuff that we like. But man, Ryan freaking Reynolds, man, $1 billion movie. I mean, and I'm sure back in the memory banks you may remember this, but people actually kind of like hated on him with Blade 3. But now to see him go from that to having really, in my eyes, the greatest comic book, movie franchise out there, $1 billion movie, record-breaking movie. Just, bravo, sir. Bravo.
I saw a meme and I was like, I laughed when I saw it. Is Henry Cavill's first superhero movie that breaks $1 billion is a Marvel movie? Because none of the DC movies broke $1 billion.
Yeah. That is absolutely atrocious if you're somebody from DC or just oh boy, that's such a dig.
Yeah, that's a shame. Well, I mean, I'm glad they did it. And it's funny too because you keep seeing. Oh, I think the best you had mentioned Blade. I think the best thing that came out of this that I love is both Wesley Snipes and Ryan Reynolds coming out and saying like that whole feud wasn't real. Like there might have been a little bit of bad blood when the movie was made, but like they actually text and talk all the time, like but like they're not enemies, but they loved it. They thought it was funny when stuff like would get printed in the news all the time about how they hated each other, and yeah.
Wouldn't you have fun with it? Like, what if there was a rumor? You're like I hated you. Like, oh no, Don's planning to murder Dave, and we're just like, let's see how far this goes.
Wait,
let's see how far this goes? No, not at all. We're lazy for something like that.
The porn parody of Deadpool Wolverine will win adult awards. All right. I'm sorry. I was trying not to, we're trying to like not hit all the comments. We'll show them, but I got to know. Do you know something about the porn parody? I didn't know that one existed, but I guess that's rule.
No, but they could save money on the title, right? I mean, really, they just need to remove 6 of the letters, just DP Wolverine. And there you go. Huh?
That's bad. All right. Moving on. We got our first official trailer for Kraven the Hunter. Speaking of parodies, it's okay. So real quick, my take on it: they're trying to make him an anti-hero. It seems like in the show, like he's killing for the right reasons or whatever. The only thing that like really stuck with me was the weird Rhino, the weird take on Rhino in it, where it's a mutant versus or some kind of mutation versus a guy in a suit. So I don't know. What did you think of it?
Yeah, no, I looked at it. I'm like, oh, this is just like John Wick with a accent in melee weapons only. So I mean, they're going gritty and bloody and gory with it. So if you're that type of person, certainly you may enjoy it. But I hate these Spider-Man adjacent. Okay, if you showed me this trailer and instead of like taking out thugs and eventually going up against Rhino, like if it was a Spider-Man he was talking about, okay, that could be exciting. Right. But instead, and forget how the Rhino thing is anymore. I mean, they do what they do with these mutations and shit in the movies. It's just, I don't know, they always kind of lame it up sometimes. But above all that, like, Dave, you're the Spider-Man fan. So is there like a Kraven Rhino fight arc that I'm unaware of that was, titillating or riveting or interesting?
No, because I'm sure there's like, that's the funny thing. There's got to be obviously a contract. And the same thing with Madam Web. Like they can't really use Spider-Man in these movies, which is weird. So instead of like Spider-Man, they just made it Rhino. Well, he's an animal-based hero, right? Because that's the whole thing. Kraven's the hunter. He's going after animals. Like that's kind of why he was introduced. He was hunting Spider-Man, So yeah, I mean,
there's an outside chance that Russell Crowe kills it.
True,
but this is just again, this is not really, and I'm sorry for your Spider-Man faithful, but overall, Kraven is just not a character that a whole lot of people are wanting a piece of. Just like the Madam Web, it's not going to be good. It's just not.
In all honesty, we've said this before. JD's actually said this a couple times on the show. The only good, what's the word? Kraven story. Well, he says the only good. I say the best Kraven story and the only one worth making a movie out of is Kraven's Last Hunt. But A, that doesn't work with without Spider-Man, and B, it's when he dies. So like if you're going to make a Kraven movie and just have him be a one and done character, like I guess so. So yeah, like there isn't a lot of great Kraven stories. There aren't. And like I understand he seems like a cool character and it'd be an interesting concept, but I don't know. Bringing in his father and doing the whole thing, that just it's weird. I'm going to say this though. I've said it. I've recommended it before. Is Spider-Man: The Darkest Hours? It's a book, not a comic book, a regular book written by Jim Butcher. It's a Spider-Man story. It's it was written at the time where Spider-Man and Mary Jane were still married, and so like that's where it takes place in the timeline. I mean, obviously it's not in continuity, but it is the best characterization of Rhino I've ever seen written before. Like, he's this failed mafia Russian mob boss, and he's stuck inside of the suit, and like he's conflicted, and he has to team up with Spider-Man in the book. So it's what makes it interesting. Like, they delve into the psyche of Rhino, and it works really well. It's one of the I really wish writers at Marvel would have taken this book and been like, "Oh, let's do this with Rhino in the comics," but they never did. So, yeah, I highly, highly recommend it. If you've never read it, Jim Butcher, Spider-Man: The Darkest Hours. You can pick it up on Amazon. It's a great read. So, all right.
That's how I feel about God Loves, Man Kills for the X-Men. Like, I want that in a movie so bad. I know it's really kind of a simple X-Men story, so I think it needs to begin toward the beginning of their introduction, but I hope to see that. So, yeah, I understand what you're saying there.
Cool. So, the other trailer that we got it a couple weeks ago, we didn't talk about it, was Agatha All Along. They had got a new trailer. The first one's a teaser. This one's a trailer, so it gives you a little more idea of what the story is. I have a theory about the show now that I've watched this trailer, and I could be way off, but Marvel has had a tendency to sometimes give away too much in a trailer, and I think they did it in this show. Yeah. But before I give my theory, you watched it. Does it change your opinion on the show at all, and does it make you want to watch it more or less?
It doesn't change my opinion, because obviously, when it comes to witches, I like them to, be force-based, have some lesbians, have the power of 1, 2, and 3. Am I right, boys and girls? Right? I mean, those are the witch covens that we're interested in. No, but seriously, outside of that, because it deals with the witch coven, this. To me, and I could be wrong. I mean, I'm going to keep an open mind, but this is like 3-4 years just too late for me. I'm going to have to go to my wife and be like, "Hey, you want to watch this?" And I'm sure she's going to be like, "Well, why?" And I'm going to be like, "Oh, remember Agatha from WandaVision?" So yeah, I myself, I'm going to find time for it. But too late. It's
so well. My first thought on it, they showed it in the original teaser, and they showed it again this trailer. She's working in the morgue, or she's in the morgue, and she looks at the toe tag of the person in the morgue, and by magic, the name Wanda Maximoff appears on there. So I'm still confused. Are they going to use this show to confirm that she's dead, or is this just like she's getting her memories back and it's just the name just appears to her?
I do think that they'll hint, because if they ever do anything that said Scarlet Witch is dead, I'm never going to believe it.
Yeah,
like in the comic book, Scarlet Witch is powerful enough to basically have self-revived,
right?
Murdered and self-revived. So I think this will give us a little hint. But I think that's it. I think this is going to be, this witch coven story, Agatha regaining her powers that the Scarlet Witch took from her, or at least was responsible from her, taking from her. But I don't think it'll ever be able to say dead Scarlet Witch. I'll never believe it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, because, in the comics, she's a Nexus being. So, they can also just pull her out of the multiverse, and she'd be the same person.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing I kind of get from this. This is the feel I got from the trailer. She gathers a band of misfits, misfit witches together to help her on this witch's road so she can get her powers back. And they don't say in the trailer, oh, you'll get your powers back if you complete the tests of the road. They say your greatest wish will be fulfilled, right? Your greatest desire, greatest wish. I don't remember the exact tagline. So my brain automatically goes to, oh, she brings these people in to kind of use them to help her out, just thinking she's going to get her powers back. They get some stuff happens to them during these trials. So her greatest wish is to bring back the friends she made along the way on the road and gives up her powers. Like, I just feel that is going to be the hokey ending of this show. Maybe I'm wrong, but watching it, I'm like, oh God, this feels like it's being projected 1,000 miles away. Here's the story. So I hope I'm wrong, because that would be so hokey and stupid.
Again, 3-4 years ago, we would have cared about Agatha, but nobody does now. That's my take on it. Again, I'll watch it, and I'm sure some others will, but it's not going to reverberate highly, I don't think.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I will say I know some young people that are highly excited for this show.
Okay.
But again, I don't know. Like, and it's funny. It's my girlfriend's one son loves Scarlet Witch, loved all the movies she's been in, loves the show, and loved Wanda and WandaVision. I mean, so, and then loved the character of Agatha. So when they introduced or announced the show, he was like all into it. He keeps like every time I see him, he's like, "Ooh, are you excited? I can't wait. Are you excited for the show?" So like,
and you're gonna be like, "Nah," or do you lie? You're like, "Yeah, excited for Agatha."
I say like, I'm gonna watch it. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. You know, I'm not gonna push it too much.
You left out the I'm gonna watch it and talk shit about it. You left out the second.
Well, he doesn't watch the podcast, so we're good. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll be watching it week to week once it comes out. So that's what we do, and talk shit about it. We all
have Disney Plus. We all have it. So.
Now we need to talk about our super secret. What you call it? News story here. It was all over the internet when it came out, and
you're damn right. You're damn right.
From Life Goes On. Oh, that is true. So the trailer for Thunderbolts Asterix was shown at D23. And somebody got past the Marvel snipers and filmed it and leaked it online. And pretty much everyone and their mother has seen it at this point. But it has been like the couple sources where I was able to watch it, they've been taken down as of today. So obviously I didn't have it in the email, but you said you've seen the trailer. We'll describe it a little bit. Okay, good.
Well, I've seen kind of stills of the trailer. I'm aware of, but I am aware of like the major points of the trailer, though. So by all means.
Well, real quick, it starts off with oh geez, I can't think of any of the characters' names. The Natasha's sister from
Black Widow. I don't know
the other Black Widow. I know people are yelling at us right now. Knocking on her father's door, and he answers it, and Florence Pugh, who is she's a Black Widow. I'm just looking at the cast, and David Harbour, who's Alexei. That's it. Okay, knocking on his door, and he's kind of like, oh, Yelena. He's kind of like
played by Florence Pugh.
He's living in his apartment. It's a mess, and she comes to him and says, like, she's kind of lost, since the organization doesn't exist anymore. She's kind of just taking these contract jobs here and there. She's trying to figure out, find her way.
It's called bounty hunting. They do it in Star Wars.
Basically. Then we cut to this. I'm trying to remember some of the details. They cut to the scene where, like, the Thunderbolts, well, at least the Captain, Black Widow, Taskmaster,
Red Guardian, yeah,
all show up at this warehouse, and it's like a trap, and they get caught. And obviously, they're caught by Madam Hydra, and of course, they're now hired to be the Thunderbolts. And then there's this, and they keep showing Sebastian Stan, the Winter Soldier, with her at like kind of following her and like looking at her. So there's going to be some kind of twist with that in the movie. I feel like they were hinting at that. And then there's a scene with them all driving in a Jeep and oh God, my brain is not working tonight. And Alexi's like going, "Oh, this is so great. It's like family." And Florence Pugh's like, "Oh, Dad, shut up." Basically, like that's the basic gist of it. It's trying to show you, like, there's going to be comedy and action, basic Marvel formula. They do not show Harrison Ford or the Red Hulk at all in the movie. So I don't know if he's in it, or if he's in it, it might just be a cameo at the end, or at the beginning or something. So we'll see.
Which is why, if they don't, because the name of the movie is Thunderbolts Asterix.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to end up being either Dark Avengers or New Avengers. Because in this trailer, we talk about getting the Avengers back together again.
Yeah.
Because if they name them the Thunderbolts, and then, General Thunderbolt Ross isn't in the movie, that's going to be dumb. Like, and so I don't know, unless they're going to interject Red Hulk or Thunderbolt Ross into this already, which I'm with you, it does not seem like that's going to happen to me. It seems like to be a whole Captain America thing, pretty much selling that movie, I think. But yeah, that's so. I don't think we're going to end up being. This is going to be the Thunderbolts. I don't think that's what we're going to do.
They did not show. Now that I think about it, I don't remember seeing Baron Zemo in the trailer, which
No.
I know that he's in the movie and he's apparently a big part of it. So I'm kind of wondering if they're going after him, if that's what the story is. Like, he's behind whatever thing is they're trying to stop.
Well, okay. I had basically Emergency Awesome on YouTube, and like I said, I didn't see the trailer, but I watched kind of what he had to say, and he had pointed out that basically he thinks that Madam Hydra basically sent that team to kill each other, but instead they end up finding Robert Reynolds, the Sentry. So it's really hard to determine what exactly is bringing them together. But to me, that's the biggest point, is that they're going to bring Sentry into the MCU. And for those of you who don't know, the Sentry is Superman, except for he's schizophrenic and has like a really bad alter ego called Void.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing for me in what I saw in this trailer, outside of the fact that they did show, like, looks like the Program X, like they made Captain America and shit, and they are announcing adamantium. So I definitely think we're also seeing the start of a Wolverine, at least breadcrumbs into him actually coming in to the MCU proper.
Yeah, given Feige's track record, this is when we start throwing the breadcrumbs in for the bigger stuff, like the X-Men coming in, and they might even start throwing Fantastic Four bits in, since the movie's coming out next year. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, like the other thing that I kind of took away from this trailer, and it's hard to tell within just these stills, is like Ghost is in it, and now she's got complete control of her powers. Like there's no more issues with her like glitching out, at least in this scene. It is a cool choreographed fight scene in the trailer. I'll say that, like from what you see of it between all of them, you know. And the other thing is Taskmaster is in it, but she's got a new costume that looks nothing like Taskmaster's costume. Right?
Yeah.
It's this white mask, and she's using a bow and arrow. There's no shield and sword. There's no skull mask. It's like, what are you doing, Marvel? Like, Taskmaster is a character. Maybe it's not one of the most beloved villains, but a lot of people like the character. I'll accept the gender swap, but like, make it Taskmaster. Like, why is there a bow and arrow? Why are you making her a Hawkeye wannabe in the Thunderbolts?
Yeah. I mean, even with the gender swap, her personality is not even the Taskmaster.
Well,
which is my biggest complaint. Which is because, yeah, you're right. The Taskmaster, he's not like an A-level villain or nothing, for sure. But the people that do enjoy him because of like his demeanor and him talking shit during the whole fights and stuff. Like, and yeah, this is not Taskmaster, even with the gender swap. Again, you could have pulled it off with the gender swap. That's fine, but you didn't. So, but from what I understand, though, they did have to do a costume change because I guess her mask or something like that pisses off China. So they redesigned so that, you know, China's not mad about it. Which, I mean, I get they're trying to make money, but, you know, so there you have it.
Okay, wait. Kassan, I'll read Kassan's statement here. All shiny baubles to keep us distracted from the lack of quality writing. Look, you remember the Fantastic Four. There's a bit here for you to giggle at. It's not all been bad writing. Like, there's been some bad writing. I liked Loki. I liked the way that it ended. And I feel like, and a lot of people have talked about this, and I think it's true. They rewrote the end of Loki season 2 because it probably was supposed to delve more into Kang, but obviously they decided we're going to turn right instead of left here with Kang, and that's all well and good, but I think they did a great job of fixing it, you know, and, you know, making him the controller of the multiverse, which is weird, but, you know, it worked, and it's a way to write Tom Hiddleston's Loki out for now, but have the opportunity to backdoor him back in if you need to. And I mean, yeah, but I also kind of feel like some of the questionable writing, like Ant-Man Quantumania and killing Kang with giant ants, maybe helped push them in the corner.
Right.
A little bit for going like, yeah, we're not going to recast them because no one seems happy with Kang. Maybe I'm wrong. Well, speaking of corners that Marvel and Disney are in.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, here we go. So Beau Demayo is no longer credited for season 2 of X-Men. So there's been a lot of back and forth that has come out this week between Beau Demayo and Marvel/Disney over his firing. And not only did they come out and say like egregious behavior, and they pointed to social media posts, they also took his credits off of season 2 for X-Men 97 and have come out and said, yeah, they're rewriting season 2. So I am so glad that you're here this week and not John. I mean, I miss John, but like, you're the X-Men guy, right? We all loved X-Men 97.
Yeah.
And I feel like his fingerprints were all over that season 1. Do you think, and be honest, that this is going to hurt season 2?
Oh, absolutely. I'm not against it there being some other person out there that loves and understands X-Men enough to Beau Demayo's level. So I'm really fingers crossed to be wrong here. But absolutely. They, you know, and I've called for them to bring Beau Demayo back. I mean, if they're going to bring X-Men into the MCU, I want Beau Demayo to help him do it. That's how much like I think he gets the essence of the X-Men and how good his X-Men writing is. And I do think, and I think he's being treated harshly. Now, this is without knowing all the facts. All we have to go on is, okay, Marvel stripped him of the credits because he posted a caricature of himself as Cyclops, bare-chested, almost naked, to celebrate Pride Month. And so that's when Disney said, okay, we're stripping you the writing credits of season 2. And then they further go on to say that the whole reason he got fired is because their internal investigation revealed, as you said, egregious behavior on the part of it. Now, that's what we don't know what that means.
Right.
But beyond it meaning murdering or diddling children, let the motherfucker do X-Men because he knows how to do it right.
I'm going to say this, though, and I was going to ask your opinion on it. Obviously, I think you just gave it. We have talked to a lot of actors that have worked for Marvel on some capacity. In fact, we had one of the guys from The Punisher, I think. No, not The Punisher. Daredevil season 2 on the show. We've had I've talked to people that worked on, what's the name of that show? That's defunct now. Agents of Shield. We've talked to writers and whatnot, and they have all told us flat out, and you can even look this up. You can find articles on it. Everyone who works for them has to sign a contract that has a morality clause in it, and it's very specific about like responsibilities, but also they don't want you displaying their characters that they own in any kind of what they might consider a negative light. Whether you think that's negative or not, obviously Disney does. So he essentially broke the morality clause, and I think that's gave them the grounds to get to fire him.
Sure.
And I kind of, and it's funny too, because I never thought the writers were that scrutinized. I always thought it was more the actors because they're the faces of this stuff. But yet he did have a very public face and a very public Instagram that he was posting on all the time. So, like, that's the whole thing. Like, if you want to work for the mouse, and I have something I want to talk about the morality clause in a minute. You want to work for the mouse, you got to follow the rules, right? Like, if he wanted to post himself, I kind of feel like if he just posted a picture of himself topless for Pride Month, that would have been okay. But the fact that it was him as Cyclops is where they were like, okay, that crosses the line. Agree, disagree?
I mean, Disney as a company, as with any company, has the freedom to have those standards. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm just saying that if I own a gold mine and I've got a bunch of people not producing, and I go down and I inspect my gold mine and I see this one dude who's just gem after gem after gem, but maybe he's a little bit inappropriate, but again, he's not murdering anyone, diddling children, ripping people off financially. You know, I'm going to let it, I'm just, do your thing, buddy. Just keep giving me the gems. But you're right. Disney is not about that. They are Disney. They, have always had the squeaky clean, although again, Deadpool, Wolverine, best rated, rated R movie of all time. We're good with that. But hey, this, whatever you're doing, buddy, no, that goes against the, morality clause. And here you are. It doesn't make business sense to me, but that is their mission statement. And so you're right. It is what it is. A job tells you don't do this, you do that. You get what you get. I'm just saying, dude writes X-Men. Dude can make you money. There you go. I mean, I don't look for morality in media companies. Call me crazy.
Well, I was going to also throw this in. And I have a lot of reasons that this story bothers me, but the basic one here is, so couple went to Disney World. This literally just happened. Couple went to Disney World, and the wife was allergic to nuts and dairy, and they went to a restaurant in Disney World and told them her allergies, and like, you go to a restaurant and say these are the allergies, they'll prepare you food that doesn't have that stuff in there, and they got to make sure not to cross contaminate and all that good stuff.
Right.
And she went into anaphylactic shock after eating the food and died. So the husband decided he wanted to sue, but he was only suing for $50,000, and I think my guess is that it was like cost of funeral or whatever, and transportation and all that kind of stuff. And the lawyers argued on Wednesday in court that this case needs to be thrown out because he signed up for Disney Plus and he bought these tickets online. And in both of those instances, there's a clause in there that says you cannot sue Disney, that it has to go to arbitration. You can't take them to court. But I believe the spirit of that clause is you can't sue them over Disney Plus. Like, if you don't like something on Disney Plus and you feel it offends you, you can't take them to court over Disney Plus. Or if the tickets get messed up and you don't get to Disney, you can't sue them for that. It's not, if somebody dies, you can't sue Disney. And the fact that their lawyers had the balls to argue that this clause means they can't sue after the wife died, throw all your morality clauses out the window. Like, come on.
I mean, I'm glad you said it, because I was about to say, oh, great. Well, it's great that you say people have morality clause, so we can see that they have a clear vision of morality here. That's pathetic. I mean, but also more importantly, understand what people are using these things that you're agreeing to, these agreements that we're agreeing to, just to watch a streaming service. How many rights do we truly sign away for this shit?
I think, and here's the thing I love too, right? Like, this might end up being one of the most important personal rights stories, and for a long time, right? Depending on what the judges decide to do with it and where this goes into court and on the outcome of this, because it should be big news, and it's not, which is what's scary, especially if you go to abcnews.com and try to search for the story. They're not covering it all. I saw it on NBC. Why is it not on ABC? Because it's owned by Disney. And it's just like that's scaring me too. Like, this should be everywhere. Everyone should be talking about this story because it's got huge implications for the future of your freedom and how much power corporations have over you. If you're not afraid, please be so. But that being said, I need to remind myself that,
What are you doing? We don't do that here.
All right. So I hope that they find someone that is as passionate, but my other fear is they're going to have to totally scrap the majority of what he wrote, because if anything is similar that was already written, they're going to he can turn around and say, look, they stole my stories, so it's putting them in it's like a rock and a hard place. Like, I don't know what the legal precedent is around that. This is one of those times I really miss JD, because he might know, because he used to work in television. But because it's also could be considered contract to hire stuff, which means they own the scripts anyway, so they can do what they want with them. But
that's what I think we're dealing with here. I mean, but you're right. JD would probably know way better than me, even though he will know, probably.
As I'm pretty sure the Writers Guild would say, like, you own the scripts and you can use them, but you still have to give credit. So we'll have to see where that goes. But that's it. That is all of our news for the week. That was our main topic as well, talking about X-Men 97 and Beau Demayo, and we did it. We can bring this in for a landing. We're at an hour, man. Woo, feels good.
Wife's still up, so I can get some nookie. You know, hey.
Well, my girlfriend's at a concert, so but we'll see if this last one, John, comes back next week.
That's the real trick.
As we are wrapping this up, Don, do you have any? Did you learn anything this week, or do you have any recommendations for our audience?
Unfortunately, I mean, did I learn anything? I learned that this could be done. I actually was kind of like, this is going to take a little bit of time, but I guess we just learned that we'll be able to do this without John. So that's just, I mean, no, I'm just, that's a grievous joke. Recommendations? No, I don't have any recommendations. I just got to recommend to myself to, so with video games and stuff, again, I need to go on the Discord there, and just even when I'm fucking around, who cares? But also, I keep hearing so this Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, it's like I'm not hearing a lot about it, but on the other hand, I keep hearing people say Game of the Year. So I just really need to get my butt in gear and finish this thing, so I can just know and talk about it and understand. So that's it.
Thrawn says, nice show, guys. Go to 2 shows a week with the smaller runtime. Stay tuned for that, because
I'm down.
We are talking about that. So maybe one show will just be all social media madness. Who knows? Let's see. What did I learn this week? I learned that we can do it. We can make this show tighter. We can get it down to an hour. If there's anyone tuning in late, sorry. I know you're expecting another hour to go here, but we're old. We need to get to bed. No. And I didn't really learn anything else. Recommendations. Well, I'm going to start off with, I recommend you go to superheroespeak.com, where you can find the podcast every week. Links to all our social media at the top of the page, comic book reviews, and so much more. There will be more comic reviews coming soon. I am actually going to have to start writing them soon. I haven't heard from Chris in a while, but that's a whole nother story. It's another can of worms for another week. And again, there's nothing, no bad blood with Chris. I just haven't heard from him in a while, and he has no social media. So I don't, other than email, I can't contact him. I also recommend, if you've gotten this far in the show and you haven't done so yet, please click that subscribe button, click that bell for notifications so you don't miss us when we go live here on Sunday nights. Smash that like button if you like what we're doing here. We really do appreciate it. And check out our merch store. Link is in the description below. And you can get some great Superhero Speak t-shirts. Show your love for the show and help support us so we can do crazy things like go to New York and buy all the pastrami we could eat. But my real recommendation for this week, I'm sorry, I got to do it. I got to do it. I recommend that you go see the new Crow, because that is what we will be talking about next week on this very show. I'm sorry, Don. We got to make John go see it too. So you're not alone.
Right.
And on that, boys and girls, as always, thanks for watching. Don't let your cape get caught in the door. See you next week.